In this video, I would like to share with you the meaning of the word Shastra. Shastra in English means the scriptures, but in Sanskritam it has a very deep meaning. Shasanat iti Shastra. Shasanat means to guide a person to the right path. So that text which guides a person to the right path, that is known as the Shastra. In Sanatana Dharma, there are 9 types of Shastra which explains the Sanatana Vaitika Dharma. So now let us see each one of them very briefly. The first is the Vedas, that is the 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharva Vedas. And the next is the Vedangas. Vedangas are just a division, you can say it as a subdivision of the Vedas. And there are 6 of them. First is the Siksha. That is, it gives the rules to how to pronounce the right Sanskrit words, the pitch and tone of the mantras, how to pronounce the mantras, and phonetics and all that. That is the Siksha. The next is the Kalpa. It gives the procedure for the Vedic rites. Next is the Vyakarana. Vyakarana is the Sanskrit grammar, and without that we cannot read the Vedas. And the next is the Niruktam. Niruktam is, it gives information about how a word is coined using the Sanskrit dhatus, that is the root verb of Sanskrit language. So that is Niruktam. And the next is the Chantas. It gives information about how the letters are arranged according to the meters. And the next is the Jyotisham. Jyotish means that shining heavenly bodies. So the entire science of the shining heavenly bodies is Jyotisham. And what we see as astrology, and we consult the astrologers with our individual horoscope, it is only a speck of that astrology, that Jyotisham. And that's why sometimes it goes wrong, because a person reading the individual horoscope must know a lot of factors about the entire Jyotisham, that is the entire astrology. Only then he can predict accurately the horoscope of an individual person. So it's a great science. So all these 6, that is the Siksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandaha and Jyotisham. All these 6 makes the Vedangas. Next is the Upavedas. Each Veda has a Upaveda. It's also a division, just like a division of it. And the Upaveda for the Rig Veda is the Ayurveda, that is the Indian medicinal science, which uses the plants. It's the Indian medical science, it's very famous, Ayurveda. That is the Upaveda of the Rig Veda. The Upaveda of Yajur Veda is the Dhanurveda. Dhanurveda is not only the science of archery, it also includes the political science. It gives rules about the responsibility of the subjects, the responsibility of the rulers, how the administration should be, everything about the political science. It gives information about it. That is the Dhanurveda, which is the Upaveda of Yajur Veda. And the next is Upaveda of the Sama Veda, is the Gandharva Veda. It gives complete information about the arts, that is the music, dance, poetry, nataka, dramas, everything. And all the minute rules of the music are given in Gandharva Veda. And not only that, it tells how the sound of the swaras, it affects the body and the mind. So that complete knowledge about arts is Gandharva Veda. That is the Upaveda of Sama Veda. The next is the Sthapatya. It is the complete architecture. It is the architectural science, and it gives information about how a building should be built according to the Vastu Shastra, or that according to that place. And how not only the house, or it also includes the government buildings, the public buildings, how the roads should be laid, how a city should be planned. So everything concerned with architecture is given in Sthapatya. How to build the temples, everything is given there. It is the Upaveda of Atharva Veda, Sthapatya. So all these four, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda and Sthapatya Veda, all these four are the Upavedas of the four main Vedas. Next is the Tantra Shastra. Tantra is a way of worship, worshipping the main Lord or Ishvara. It merges the sacred sound mantra with the sacred geometry yantra. So combining the mantra and yantra, the Tantra Shastra is formed. It's a very vigorous way of worshipping the Lord. The next is the Smriti. Smriti is that which is to be remembered is Smriti. The rishis and the great rulers of that time, they wrote or they expressed their ideas or their views about the society and about many things. And this Smriti is subject to change, because those rishis, they wrote this when some times back, that is 2000 or 1000 years back, and the society is not like that today. So it is subject to change, and one of the main Smriti, as we all know, is the Manusmriti. So that is the Smriti. And the next is the Darshanas. There are 12 Darshanas in Sanatana Dharma. Some of them, they follow or they are dependent on the Vedas, and they are known as the Astika Darshanas. And some of them are not dependent on the Vedas, and they are known as the Nastika Darshana. The Nastika Darshanas, that is the Darshanas which are not dependent on the Vedas, are Bhaudika Darshana, Jainam Darshana and the Charvaha Darshana. And the Darshanas which are dependent on the Vedas, there are 6 Darshanas, and they are the Sankhya Darshana, Nyaya Darshana, Vaisheshika Darshana, Yoga Darshana, Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Uttara Mimamsa is the Vedanta. So these 6 are dependent on the Vedas. And other than this 9, there are 3 more darshanas, that is the Ayurveda, they have a separate darshana, the Tantra Shastra, they have a separate darshana, and like that, the Vyakaranam, they have a separate darshana. So all these together makes 12 darshanas. Darshanas, you can very roughly say it as philosophy. But philosophy is only ideas and concepts, but darshana is something more than that. So there are 12 darshanas in Sanatana Vaidika Dharma. And the next is the Puranas. There are 18 Puranas. And the Puranas, having the rishis, that is Vyasa Rishi, he wrote the Purana having the Vedic concepts and ideas in mind, combining, merging with it the real life stories of the Ishvara or God or some other celestial beings. So Puranas, they combine the Vedic ideas along with the real life stories. There are 18 Puranas and the 2 Itihasas. They also belong to the Sanatana Vaidika Dharma, the famous 2 Itihasas. They are the history. Itihasa means history, that is the Ramayana and Mahabharata. And the next is the Prasthana Trayi, that is the Upanishads, Brahma Sutra and Bhagavad Gita. The contradicting facts in the Upanishads are well explained in Brahma Sutra. And the essence of the Upanishads is the Bhagavad Gita. It shows the Dharma Marga, that is the way of life. So all these 9 types of Shastra, the Veda, Vedangas, Upaveda, the Tantra Shastra, Smriti, Darshanas, Puranas, Itihasas and the Prasthana Trayi. Through all these 9 types of Shastra, the Sanatana Dharma is explained. And among all these 9, according to the Advaita Vedanta, the Prasthana Trayi is very important. A person who is well versed in the Prasthana Trayi, that is the Upanishads, Brahma Sutra and the Bhagavad Gita, he is known as a Shastri. And if you want to bring out a philosophy, that person has to explain the Prasthana Trayi based on his philosophy. And that's how Sri Adi Shankaracharya, to revive Advaita Vedanta, he wrote the Bhashya, that is the commentary for the Prasthana Trayi based on his philosophy, that is the Advaita Vedanta. And like that, the Madhvacharya and the Ramanuja Acharya, they both also did the same thing. Only then their philosophy will be accepted in the society. So that's the importance of Prasthana Trayi, and it's very important in Advaita Vedanta. So all these 9 types of Shastras, the Sanatana Dharma is explained. And these Shastras, if we read them, it is not easy to understand them. So we need Acharyas and Gurus to explain these Shastras. Thank you for watching.